I'm Jonathan Doge. I'm the owner of Shooter Solutions. The purpose of this segment is to give tips and tricks on preparation of a gun barrel for gun bluing, namely Shooter Solutions Rugged Gun Blue. As you will notice, this barrel is plugged and I'm wearing gloves. The reason for those is I'm trying to not contaminate the outside of the steel with fingerprints and oil, but on the inside we actually cleaned and oiled it and plugged it to keep the bluing and contaminants out of the inside of the barrel. And the importance of not getting oil and grease on the barrel is we don't want a model look when we get done. We want it to look like factory finish. And since we had a lot of work to do to this gun barrel, Jeremy and I, we took 600 grit wetted dry sandpaper, and that's equal to a factory finish. So that's the reason we use this. And we're using water because water is a non-oily lubricant, and yet it also keeps the sandpaper clean. And as far as direction that you go with sandpaper, you go in the direction of the tooling marks of the steel that you're working on. In this case, the tooling marks is around the gun barrel. However, to contrast that, the sight of this gun barrel, the tooling marks run the other direction. So we go the other direction when we sand that. And before you set this gun barrel down and let it dry for a day or two and have it rest, it's important to dry it off completely so that the water doesn't dry on its own. And to make sure the preparation is correct, the metal knows what it wants. Maybe we don't, but one way to illustrate that the metal knows what it wants as far as a good bluing job is it's important from the metal's perspective to make sure that all of the rust is gone and the shine and the tooling is exactly the way you want it, so that you don't have to fix bluing that didn't come out right. And now for pouring in the Shooter Solutions Rugged 2.5x Concentrated Gun Blue. Just to see how this works. And whatever you do, you don't want to be doing this first. You don't want to be putting a handprint and grease contamination onto the gun barrel before bluing. Now, as I'm putting this in, it's turning black instantly. Wow, even where the handprint is, it's looking just as good as the rest. And it is turning black instantly. You should be able to see the silver black line. At least I can see it from up here. And it's looking really good already. Of course, part of the procedure is to let this set for a minute or two because it takes a while to fully complete. To recap, this is a Ruger 1022 gun barrel from the factory, and I think it would be a really good idea for me to pull this out right now so you can see what it looks like. And as you can see, what I see is it looks absolutely perfect everywhere already. And now back for the gun bluing. And now pulling it out, I believe it's a tiny speck lighter here. But it's looking pretty good. Putting it in some water here. It's still looking good. We'll dry it. dries, it turns different color. And however it looks wet, if we oil this, and even oil on top of it, you'll see that it looks wet, as if it's with water, but it's oil. Now we have a gun blue and oil. And it looks pretty perfect, even where I put my handprint was right there. And as you can see, it blued perfectly, color-wise, right through my handprint. It's a little bit lighter here, but that's where it was sitting near the edge of the bluing, and didn't have much liquids hitting it right here. But otherwise, it's perfect.